Hey everybody, today we're going to be showing you how to walk a mile. Walking is one of the least expensive ways of traveling. It's pretty much the only way I get around apart from sneaking on buses or freight trains. Usually I don't have to go anywhere that's far away from where I already am, so I just walk there. Sure, riding a freight train can be fun, but it's also dangerous, and I don't want to get mushed up on the train tracks like some sort of damsel in distress. Also, I don't have a car or bicycle or skateboard or those bicycles that just have one wheel. No, I'm not talking about unicycles, you nerd. I'm talking about normal bicycles that just have the back wheel. Well, I don't know what they're called, but I see a guy who rides one of those sometimes, and he goes really fast and he looks really sick. I don't have one of those one-wheel bicycles, but if I did, I'd probably still walk since I'm pretty good at it, and I don't want to have to spend a bunch of time and energy learning how to ride a new machine. Plus, you then have to learn how to repair it when it inevitably breaks down. Why waste money on fancy sports cars or million-dollar airplanes when you can just walk? That's what I always say. I always say that. I say it to everybody all the time, and that's just one of the many reasons people don't like spending time with me or speaking to me. Have you ever walked a mile? I know I have. I wonder how many miles I've walked in my life. I guess I'll never know. There are so many things that we'll never know about or fully understand. It doesn't matter how smart scientists are. They'll never be able to tell me how many miles I've walked. They will never be able to tell me how many mice there are in the world. They will never be able to explain why I'm so terribly afraid of horses. I can try and explain it, but it doesn't come close to fully illuminating the gut-wrenching fear I experience whenever I so much as even think of a horse. If I see a horse, I throw up. If I smell a horse, I pass out. If I touch a horse, I would probably explode. I don't want to find out though. I don't want to explode. That's one of my greatest fears too. I know way too many people who have exploded. I've seen too many good people torn asunder by intense pressure and flames. Sometimes the explosions make sense and sometimes they don't, but it always left a big impression on me. They always made me think. That's the sign of something being good. I don't care if it's an explosion or a work of art or a piece of food or a really wet, hot handshake. If it makes you think, then it's good. If an experience forces you to look at things differently, to question your preconceived notions, to wipe your nose because it's running because you're crying, then that experience was a special one. I remember the first time I saw a bird lay an egg, that definitely made me think. That's an image that will never leave me. The wet, steaming egg being slowly pressed out of that sick old goose's hinder, the noises that the goose made, the terror in its eyes. I didn't know that a bird's face could be so emotional, so distraught before I spent that Christmas night out in the dark with that goose. We only had a small fire to keep us warm and to illuminate the whole scene, but even though it was dark and my fingers were numb with cold, I will never forget about that goose laying that egg, screaming, hollering, vomiting. I never want to see a goose throw up again, but I'm glad I saw it that time. Everybody should see a bird throw up at least once. It's a weird sight, and it'll make you think. That reminds me, I've got to go to the bathroom. I'll be back in a second. In the meantime, listen to this music. I'll turn it up while I'm gone so you can't hear the liquids and or solids falling out of me into the bucket. I'll be right back. Don't leave. I'm not done talking to you. I'll be right back, I promise. That's better. It feels so good to get some of the toxins out of your body, but you'll never rid yourself of all of life's poisons. I promise you that. No matter how cleanly you try to live, no matter what your diet is. I don't care if you only eat organic eggs and broccoli every day for 2 years like I did. You will still have poison within you. It's in the air we breathe. It's in the soil, the water, the leaves we cover ourselves in while we sleep. There's poison everywhere. You can walk as far as you want, but you'll never escape it. It's in our blood, our bones, our meat. Some studies indicate that human meat is made up of almost 20% poison. That's higher than any other creature except for one, and I don't want to say what that creature is because I don't want to get so scared that I explode, okay? Is that okay? Anyway, our meat is made of poison, so if you were ever in a situation where you were stranded and you had to eat another person to survive, it might not even be worth it. Yeah, you'd be able to brag to everybody that you knew how sweet and delicious human flesh was and they didn't, but it would also make you really sick. You would double the amount of poison in your own meat by eating somebody else's poisoned meat. Think about it. It's simple math. It's simple dollars and cents. Speaking of dollars and cents, I'm currently in the long, difficult process of trying to save up money for something. I usually live a pretty frugal life. I try not to waste money or spend it on frivolous trinkets and toys, but I've had my eye on something for a few years now, and I've been a good boy, so I think I deserve it. I've been saving up for a long time, but it's pretty expensive and things keep happening in my life. Let's call them nightmares or unending challenges that cause me to spend the money I've been saving up. That's just how life goes, right? I mean, you work really hard and you put all of your effort into something, and just before you're about to achieve your goal, something terrible happens which knocks you down and crushes your bones, and then you have to start all over again. So you get up out of the mud and start all over. What other option is there? You either stay in the mud and become a mud creature, or you get out and start saving up money again so you can finally buy yourself that special thing you've wanted for so long. And before you ask, let me just stop you and tell you outright that I will not be saying what the thing is that I want to buy so badly. It's sort of embarrassing, but if you can guess what it is without any hints, maybe I'll tell you. But it is also nice to keep secrets that nobody else knows, so I'm not sure if I'll tell anybody what the thing is. It's my special little secret. Well, it's one of my special little secrets. I've got a lot of them, a whole lot. I've done so many things that I would never tell another person about, so many truly horrible, unimaginable things. Those secrets will never be shared. Those secrets will be forever within my mouth and never out. I mean, I will never say them. That's what I'm trying to say. Do you get it? Good. Whew, boy. Walking this here mile is taking a bit longer than I thought, but I think we're almost to where we're supposed to be. I think the finish line is in sight. Speaking of something being in sight, do you ever feel like you're being watched? I don't mean in the grand sense of the government or corporations watching you. Of course they are. That's 24/7. That doesn't feel like anything because it's been happening to you every second of your life. You don't even notice that. You can't notice it. You'd only notice it if it stopped. That would be a shock that none of us can comprehend. How can you imagine a life without something that's always been there? You can't. A life without mass, invasive, unyielding surveillance is unimaginable for me. What I meant when I said, do you ever feel like you're being watched, was something else. I mean, do you ever feel like a person is watching you? A single person? A person who's standing just outside of your range of vision? Somebody in the shadows? Somebody who can see you, but you can't see them? Do you ever get that feeling? Me too, all the time. Sometimes I'm lucky and I catch a glimpse of the person or thing that is spying on me, but they are really fast, and even when I try to chase them, I can never catch up. They probably walk more than I do. They're probably in better shape. They probably have longer, thicker legs than me. That's another reason I walk so much. I want to get thicker and stronger so that maybe someday I can catch the person who watches me from the shadows when I'm supposed to be alone. It's another lofty goal, yeah, but what is life without dreams? What is life without hope? What is life without hot dogs and hamburgers? I once heard that hot dogs and hamburgers were the first two foods, and I believe it. Hot dogs and hamburgers are everywhere. They must have been around for a long time to spread across the globe as much as they have, and I, for one, am thankful for their universal coverage. Hot dogs and hamburgers are so good. They're so food. They're good to eat, and they're good to throw. When I was younger, I wanted to be in the Guinness Book of World Records for throwing a hot dog farther than anybody else. I figured that if I tried to do something as unique and stupid as that, then nobody else would have done it before me, and even if I couldn't throw the hot dog that far, I would still have the world record just because nobody else had the guts to try it themselves. I looked into it, but I never did get to hold the world record for hot dog throwing because I found out that it was really expensive. Not only do you have to buy a package of hot dogs, you also have to pay for the Guinness man to come to where you are and watch you throw it. The Guinness man lives really far away from the place I live, so I would have had to either buy them an airplane ticket, buy them a boat ticket, or teach them how to make their own airplane or boat to get to me, and I just couldn't be bothered, so I just lied down on the ground and ate the hot dogs that I was originally planning to throw. I ate the whole pack of hot dogs, and the store only had the big 82 packs, so I got really sick and I didn't get up off the ground for 6 days, and I was rolling around in my hot dog filth until it finally rained and washed me clean. I missed those days when I could just lie on the ground for several days at a time without having anyone bother me. Now I've got so many duties and responsibilities. I've got so much to do and so little time to do it. I guess I'd better hurry up. Enough lollygagging. I've got to keep up my pace if I want to be on time. I do not want to be late for my appointment. The judge said that he does not appreciate tardiness, and he said that if I show up to his chambers after the appointed time, then I'm definitely going to be in big trouble. I don't want to risk that. Not again. But I think I'm almost there. I think it's around here somewhere. I'm pretty sure it is. Some of this stuff looks familiar. I think I'm close. I think.